Hi, today I'm going to do a VR to Katey Flowers, who no longer posts on YouTube, but she did make this VR no disclaimers tarot. And yeah, this is my chance to vent, to rant without having to give any disclaimers. Question 1. What trends or tropes in tarot annoy you the most? I don't really have a lot, but I think one that I don't always appreciate is when some decks are trying to soften the tougher cards, like the Ten of Swords, Death, the Devil, Tower card. Those cards, when they try to really make it, what is the word? Nice washing. I don't really love that because the cards are in there with their original meanings, for their original purpose. And they are in there with a purpose. And I don't know, I feel like I said, it is a little bit more nice washing. Of course, there are certain decks who have a certain theme, and I do think that it's appropriate, but overall, nah. Question 2. Which deck do you feel is overrated? So I have one mass market and one indie edition. The mass market deck that I think is overrated is the Wild Unknown. I have the pocket edition. I got it gifted. I do not plan on decluttering it, on selling it, but I am also not really reaching for it a lot. I understand what it has done, of course, for the tarot community, but I wasn't in the tarot community back then. Like, I didn't read tarot when the Wild Unknown came out. I don't really have that, I guess, emotional connection with the Wild Unknown. I don't know. I feel like it's very overrated, and I feel like definitely more and more people are starting to feel similarly to it. Like, everyone appreciates what it has done for like the tarot deck creations, but I don't see it as often mentioned as often anymore, especially not as favorites. Indie deck that I feel like is overrated, mind you, not giving disclaimer, so I'm just saying, the Gentle Tarot. I don't like it. I am not attracted to the artwork. I am not into animal tarots in general. So the Gentle Tarot, not my thing. I don't even like the mini version. Like, I have looked at it because I see so many people loving it, so I just looked at it thinking, am I gonna purchase it? Am I gonna purchase the mini version? But I don't like it. So yeah, that one to me, personally, it feels very overrated. Question number 3. What are your least favorite decks you've seen since joining TarotTube? It's interesting because 2 of these I've actually previously been interested in, which first is the Deviant Moon. I talked about this in my Help Me Say Yes to the Deck. I just realized I don't like it. I'm just not about the art style, the whole Deviant Moon collection by the creator. I don't remember his name, but I'm just not about it. I don't love it. It's not my thing. It's not my vibe. And then the second deck is Moonology. I have had both decks. I have had the original Moonology deck. I have had the Moonology Manifestations deck. I'm not able to use those decks as Oracle decks for what I like for an Oracle deck. And everybody always, I feel like it is mentioned so often, which is why I got it in the first place, because everybody keeps mentioning these decks, that they're really great Oracle decks, and I just don't love them. Not my vibe. I can't work with them. And then the last one is one that I have not liked ever since I first saw it, and it's the Tarot of Curious Creatures. I think it looks really weird. I feel very uncomfortable looking at it. I don't like it. There's nothing about it that I like. There's nothing about it that I appreciate. Question number 4. What is one card that has ruined a deck for you? I don't think I have had that yet. I can usually deal when there's like one card in a deck that I don't like, but it's only when there are multiple cards that I don't like, or if there's a theme or an art style of the deck that I don't vibe with, that just turns me off of a deck. 5. Which out of print deck do you wish was still in print? It is the Afro Avatar Tarot. I know this is one of my favorites. It's one that I already have in my collection, but I just wish it was available for everyone who wants it to get it. The creator doesn't really seem to be doing very well on Instagram. They have been offline for a while, so I don't know if it will ever come back. I had one of the last couple of printings. I talk about this deck all the time, so I'm not going to show it in depth, but this is about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And these are the people that we see in the cards. We have some from the show. We also have some original characters in here. And the art style is just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It's stunning. And I wish it was still available, because I think this is one of the best Avatar decks that I've seen so far. And I've seen other people do Avatar decks as well, but none of them just come close to how amazing this looks and how amazing this reads. Question number 6. What are some of your tarot and TarotTube pet peeves? So I have a lot, and this is my time to vent with no disclaimers, so you cannot use it against me. I've written notes, by the way, because English is not my first language. So sometimes it feels that we as TarotTubers aren't allowed to give genuine criticism on decks. We see it be interpreted as a personal attack on a deck's creator, which it is not. In reality, tarot decks are products, and I talk about products and my opinion on them to help you make a more mindful and educated decision. We saw this happen recently with the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle, and I have compared that with what has happened in the beauty community previously, where beauty brands send PR to beauty YouTubers and they give their honest opinion, and then they get shat on or taken off of the PR list. And with so many options out there, whether it is makeup products or tarot decks, consumers go to YouTube to get the honest opinion of YouTubers because that is what helps them make a purchasing decision. Another pet peeve that I have when it comes to watching TarotTube, as someone who is somewhat of a video editing and video quality snob, it annoys me so much when there's no editing of a video with a lot of pauses, slow talking, lots of ums that should have been taken out. Slurping of drinks is a sensory thing that I cannot deal with, but also when the audio is really bad or when the audio is really low, so I turn it up and then they add in really loud music or really loud sound effects and blows out my ears when I'm listening with headphones. Another one is within the tarot community, there are a lot of people who I feel try to gatekeep the practice of tarot. Maybe gatekeep isn't really the right word to use, but what I mean is that there are people, not just creators, but viewers as well, who feel like there's only one right way to read and to learn the tarot. But I think that you can love the practice of tarot and you could be an amazing tarot reader without being into the occult side of it, without the Kabbalah side of it, without using astrological associations, with or without reading reversals. And I'm honestly really tired of people feeling superior within their practice because they think their way is the only right way and just the only way. And that includes people who think they have the authority of saying who can and can't offer tarot readings as a service that people pay for. I think as long as the person offering a reading is honest about their experience, everyone can ask for money for a reading, and it is up to the consumer whether or not they want to pay them for it or to go to another reader. I have absolutely unsubscribed to some tarot tubers who I felt were judgmental, rude, or just acting superior within their way of practicing tarot and magic. And the same counts for my next point. I have absolutely unsubscribed to people who make excuses for people like Aleister Crowley because they want to use his deck, The Thought. And I've talked about this in my VR2 hashtag all about the tarot 2022, which I'll link in the eye as well as in the description box below. But you can absolutely use the Thoth deck because you appreciate what it is and what it can do for you, and then also speak out against the asshat that was Crowley. And with that comes speaking out against a lack of diversity in older decks. Now, do I understand how there's not a lot of diversity in older decks? For example, the RWS? Yes. Does that mean that I have to make excuses that it's a product of its time so that I can use it? No. To me, this feels like people know that a creator of a deck is a bad person or that there's something problematic about a deck, but they still want to use it, and they feel like the only way they can still do that is to sort of soften the problem or soften the problematic person, when really you can speak out against the problem and say that the deck still has an important part in your practice. You can do both. A last TarotTube pet peeve that I have is quite a new one, but I feel like that a lot of TarotTubers are really making the same kind of content and we're all talking about the same decks. And I wasn't really realizing that for a while, and I was actually doing the same thing and partaking in creating these same kinds of videos, getting inspired by other TarotTuber content that I really enjoyed. But then when I wanted to branch out with my own content, trying something new, I was afraid that no one was going to like it because it's very unusual in the TarotTube community. Then someone commented that I should branch out because many TarotTube channels create similar content and they thought that it would be great to have something new. So that is why I decided to do my weekly live streams where I do political tarot readings every Saturday. I still have to think of a good name and branding for the streams because I love going about YouTube in a more professional way. So let me know if you have an idea for like titles for the streams. And I also want to highlight another TarotTuber that I think makes original content along with more general videos like favorites, similar to what I do. Her channel is called Velvet Forest Moon, and she has started doing Tarot Unsolved on her channel, where she does readings on things like the Black-Eyed Children, Atlantis, Area 51, and I'll link her channel down below. Question number 7, what are some decks that you feel should have more recognition? So I am someone who is a huge fan of Harry Potter, not its creator, but I am obsessed with the Little Wizards Tarot. There are a few other Harry Potter decks out there with images from the movies, but those are just not really my vibe. And this is in original art with an original art style by Push Kitty. She has some more amazing decks like the Wonderworld Tarot, the Trauma Oracle, and she has the Little Avatar Tarot and Mythical Tarot coming up, which both look amazing. And then question number 8, what are your thoughts on negative reviews? I already talked about this in my pet peeves, but I think they're great. What I might not like about a deck that I talk about in my review might be the reason someone else loves a deck. And if I don't talk about the things that I don't like, the person watching misses information that they might need in order to make a conscious purchasing decision, and I just think that's not okay. I'm thinking if there are any other unpopular opinions that I have regarding tarot or the TarotTube community, but I think I might have already offended some people enough. If you want to hear more of my controversial opinions, I encourage you to watch All About Tarot, my tag to the Hermit's Cave, which I'll link on the screen right now. You can subscribe to my channel for weekly tarot chats as well as my weekly live streams, and you can join the membership, get access to the video version of my podcast every Sunday, as well as the private Discord server for members only. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.